An early human ancestor who lived between 600,000 and 300,000 years ago in Africa and Europe is known for its large physical stature and strength, which outmatched both Neanderthals and modern humans. This robust hominin was an important part of the evolutionary lineage that produced both Neanderthals and modern humans, and a true freak of nature. Forget about Neanderthals, because no professional fighter would get into a cage with these superhumans. And although they would have had the pound-for-pound strength and agility of a silverback gorilla, make no mistake about it, they stood fully erect. Because they lived during what is known as the Cromerian Stage of the Middle Stone Age, and their species name is not universally agreed upon, some anthropologists refer to this early human as Cromerian Man. Indeed, by any standard, this creature was an absolute unit, and you would not want to have encountered him in the wilderness of Africa or Europe. While early Homo sapiens were the most keenly analytical, industrious, hardest-working and most intelligent human species, Cromerian Man was likely the most physically gifted creature to ever grace the planet. In fact, some specimens of this Afro-European species were absolute monsters, with bones twice the size of modern humans, with some individuals possibly standing up to 7 feet tall, according to American-born paleoanthropologist Lee Berger of the University of the Witwatersrand in Johannesburg, South Africa, who is also a National Geographic explorer in residence. Researchers have built a profile of this impressive human species as a formidable being, well adapted to its environment, by examining evidence of height and body mass from fossil finds, including the Mauer mandible, the Boxgrove tibia, the Berg Aukas femur, the Kabwe skull, and the Sima de los Huesos pelvis. This analysis emphasizes their impressive size, muscular build, and the implications for their survival. The Mauer mandible, discovered in 1907 near Heidelberg, Germany, was used to first identify this species. This robust jawbone remains one of the most important pieces of evidence for the species. The mandible is massive, indicating that this species had strong jaw muscles, implying a diet that required significant chewing power, possibly including tough plant material, fibrous meat, and hard nuts or seeds. The jawbone's structure lacks a chin, distinguishing it from modern Homo sapiens, but similar to other archaic hominins. The size and robustness of the mandible suggest that the individual was much larger than Homo erectus and other predecessors. Dental evidence, such as large molars, lends credence to the idea of significant muscle attachment sites, reinforcing the interpretation of a strong masticatory system. The Boxgrove tibia, discovered in Sussex, England, sheds light on the stature and physical build of this species. This fossil, estimated to be around 500,000 years old, is notable for its large size and evidence of robusticity. The tibia, a part of the lower leg, indicates that the person to whom it belonged was likely tall, measuring up to 1.8 meters or 6 feet. This height estimate, combined with the bone's substantial thickness, indicates a body capable of withstanding significant physical stress, much like a rugby player. The Boxgrove tibia dimensions indicate that this species had a body mass of 90 to 100 kilograms, around 200 to 220 pounds, emphasizing their muscular and solid frame. This adaptation would have been useful for a variety of survival activities, including long-distance walking or running to track prey and carrying heavy loads. The tibia's robust nature suggests that these early humans were capable of powerful lower body movement, which would have been ideal for ambush hunting, a method hunting prey by brute force using a wooden spear. For example, Sima de los Huesos, the Pit of Bones, in Spain's Atapuerca Mountains, contains one of the most significant collections of human fossils, with over 5,000 skeletal remains from at least 28 individuals. These remains provide valuable information about the size, height, and build of this species. According to skeletal reconstructions and measurements from Sima de los Huesos, this population could also reach a height of 1.8 meters or 6 feet. The pelvis discovered at this location, which belonged to an individual colloquially known by researchers as Elvis, is especially telling. The pelvis is wider than that of modern humans, indicating a larger frame capable of supporting significant muscle mass. This pelvic structure indicates a center of gravity that would improve stability and strength, particularly during physical activities requiring endurance and balance. The stature of the Sima de los Huesos specimens indicates that they had a body plan that was well suited to both mobility and power. Their large chest cavities, as indicated by rib structures, suggest a well-developed lung capacity that would have been useful for prolonged exertion, such as chasing game or transporting heavy materials and resources over long distances. Another important piece of evidence for our understanding of this species' physicality is the Berg Aukas femur, discovered in Namibia, southern Africa. Although this femur has been attributed to early archaic human specimens, its characteristics are consistent with those of Cromerian man. The femur's extraordinary thickness and strength indicate that these hominins were much more robust than modern Homo sapiens, and some researchers have matched it with the Kabwe cranium from the former Rhodesia. The femur shaft shows signs of significant bone density and a wide cross-section, implying that this species had a well-muscled body capable of enduring strenuous physical exertion. The femur's load-bearing capability also implies that these early humans could engage in strenuous activities such as wrestling large prey to the ground or moving heavy objects. The heavy build of the femur is also consistent with a body adapted to colder climates, where increased muscle mass and bone density would aid in heat conservation and physical activity during hunting and gathering in harsh conditions. The fossil known as the Kabwe skull, also known as the Broken Hill skull, is one of the most significant specimens attributed to this species. This fossil, discovered in 1921 at a lead and zinc mine in Kabwe, Zambia, also sheds light on these early humans' physical robustness during the Middle Pleistocene. The skull demonstrates a combination of primitive and advanced characteristics that highlight these hominins' physical adaptations to their harsh environments. The most striking feature of this fossil is the strength of the skull itself. The Kabwe skull has exceptionally pronounced and continuous brow ridges, which indicate a strong and muscular face. These thick brow ridges provided structural reinforcement for the skull, likely to withstand the high stresses applied during combat. The women of this species were not gracile creatures either. This robustness is a sign of very high testosterone, unlike any equivalent in modern humans. These naturally elevated androgens are the biggest difference between modern man and ancient man, and the reason why we have become civilized instead of living like savages. Although some would argue that living like a savage is preferable to modern civilization. Whatever the case, these early human males were likely stomping around with levels exceeding 2 to 3 times that of modern man, which would be comparable to being on a strong dose of weekly testosterone booster. The Kabwe skull's cranial capacity is estimated to be between 1,100 and 1,300 cubic centimeters, similar to that of modern human females but slightly smaller males on average. This brain size, combined with the skull's robust features, indicates that he was well adapted to his environment, balancing physical strength with cognitive capabilities adequate for survival tasks such as tool use and hunting. What is fascinating is how this fossil and others sit in total isolation, the only example of their kind in the archaeological record. The theory that ancient humans adorned their bodies as early as 300,000 years ago can be reasonably postulated by examining the widespread and enduring nature of body adornment as a human trait. The practice of personal decoration is nearly universal among modern human culture, serving purposes that range from personal expression to social signaling and cultural identity. Archaeological evidence shows that pigments like red ochre were used as far back as 300,000 to 400,000 years ago. This universality suggests that the roots of body adornment may extend far back into prehistory, potentially even to Kabwe and his contemporaries. When compared to other fossils, such as those from the Sima de los Huesos pelvis from Spain or the Boxgrove tibia from England, Kabwe follows a pattern of robust, strong-bodied hominins. These characteristics are thought to be adaptations to harsh physical environments that required significant strength for hunting, gathering, and possibly defending against predators. The robustness of this skull is consistent with the overall picture of Cromerian man as a highly adaptable species, capable of thriving in a variety of climates and ecosystems. Significant climatic changes occurred during the Middle Pleistocene era, necessitating the flexibility and adaptability of hominins to various environmental stresses. This combination of physical strength and relatively advanced cognitive abilities would have enabled it to develop complex hunting strategies and possibly social structures that encouraged cooperation. The Kabwe skull's robustness and physical characteristics also provide important insights into the evolutionary link between earlier hominins like Homo erectus and later hominins like Neanderthals and modern humans. The transitional nature of this specimen is exemplified by the combination of primitive features such as pronounced brow ridges and more advanced traits such as a larger cranial capacity. Cromerian man's physical strength and robustness demonstrate the evolutionary benefits of a strong build, particularly in terms of survival in environments where strength was required for hunting, tool use, and protection. This sturdy construction emphasizes the adaptive strategies that early humans developed as they spread across diverse and sometimes harsh environments in Africa and Eurasia. To summarize, Cromerian man is a great example of early man's physical and anatomical adaptations. The robust cranial features, strong dental structures, and thick cranial bones indicate a hominin that was well equipped to face the challenges of its environment, with a build that combined power and endurance. These characteristics not only demonstrate Cromerian man's strength and resilience, but also help us understand the evolutionary path that led to the later human species. Combining evidence from the Mauer mandible, the Boxgrove tibia, the Berg Aukas femur, the Kabwe skull, and the Sima de los Huesos remains, a picture emerges of a physically imposing hominin. Their muscular build and dense bone structure would have provided sufficient strength for a variety of demanding activities. These would have included hunting large game with simple but effective weapons, building shelters, and transporting resources vital to their survival. The muscle attachment sites on these bones indicate that they possess significantly more muscle mass than modern humans, particularly in the upper and lower limbs. This extra muscle mass would have helped them not only hunt, but also defend themselves against predators and competing hominin groups. Cromerian man's physical prowess would have made them formidable in any confrontation, whether with other human species or with predators in their surroundings. The robust nature of the bones suggests that they were adapted to a life of constant physical activity. These adaptations were critical in an environment where survival depended on the ability to traverse vast landscapes, withstand cold temperatures, and hunt large and sometimes dangerous prey. The thickened, dense bones indicate a lifestyle characterized by repetitive, high-impact activities, such as long-distance trekking over uneven terrain and transporting tools and game back to camps or living sites. The Kabwe fossil are associated with the Cromerian tool industry, as is the Boxgrove tibia and the Mauer mandible, and thus it is postulated these populations might be related to each other. The term Cromerian industry refers to the lower Paleolithic stone tool assemblages associated with the Cromerian stage of the Middle Pleistocene epoch. The Cromerian industry is significant for understanding the evolution of human tool-making technique, indicating a complex understanding of tool production and usage among early human species. The physical characteristics such as size and strength would have influenced their social structures and group interactions. Larger and stronger individuals may have taken on roles requiring significant physical prowess, such as leading hunts or protecting the group from threats. The division of labor in early human societies may have been based on these physical characteristics, with stronger individuals contributing to communal tasks that required more strength and others participating in less physically demanding but equally important activities. The ability to cooperate in hunting large game suggests this species possessed some level of group coordination and communication. The processing of large animals would have required not only individual strength, but also collective effort, which would have been aided by the robust nature of their bones and muscle structure. This species stands out as a particularly powerful and resilient member of the human evolutionary lineage. The Mauer mandible, Boxgrove tibia, Berg Aukas femur, and Sima de los Huesos discoveries all show a hominin with height, muscular strength, and bone density unrivaled by many other early human ancestors. This impressive physicality would have provided Cromerian man with the physical tools necessary to survive and thrive in the harsh environments they encountered. Their robust build suggests a lifestyle in which strength was required not only for hunting and food preparation, but also for protection, movement, and social organization. These physical adaptations enabled this early man to navigate a world full of large predators, varied terrain, and seasonal extremes, laying the groundwork for later human species such as Neanderthals and Homo sapiens. Not quite the strength and agility of a silverback gorilla, but formidable nonetheless. Thank you for watching and commenting. We now leave you to ponder the mysteries of our shared human history. And since you made it to the end of the video, please subscribe, share, and watch some of our other highly compelling videos on human evolution. Thank you and take care out there in this savage world.
Here, wait a second. How about Rob Gronkowski? Silverback gorilla. That's true.
All right.